What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
Another
What's up?
Sunday sermon.
Right.
So, anyways, we are in the Sunday sermon workspace here today. We got Chris Tronic, master of Gears, on the bottom. We have got the king of Cool, Dwight Kühl, over here on
Hey,
the upper
hey,
right,
hey, hey,
and we
hey.
have got the one and only Decon of Drift in the middle, sideways. You see him, you know him, you love him.
Slideways.
Slideways. We got to get him on here one day. And then you got my knucklehead,
Yeah.
redneck Jeffro Bodine up here in the left, so upper left. So, what you guys got going on this morning?
Um,
Man, I don't know.
Quick
We were just
question.
talking about that the atomics. I don't know, it just bubbled up,
That's
Atomic
the
got
way
a
it
lot of
goes.
chassis out there. They're all great, and they're all so different, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it bubbled up because I have some setup problems with the MP. I got an MP from a colleague of mine from our drift club. He wanted me to finish his build because he is not so good at soldering as me, and he wanted to have everything beautifully. And I'm finished with the car, or nearly finished with the car, but I want to give him a basic tune since he is a 1x10 driver and not that much experienced uh, with 1x24. And he gave me the car, and I reckon, and completely out of
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is not
It looks pretty
driving
yeah.
good.
well.
Looks pretty good till you get right there at the end.
Yeah, if you
It looks good until
overpull
you
the
put it up
servo
against the good
completely,
one.
you get this crazy
That's right.
90-90 angle.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Speaking
but
of
the
good angles
servo
out of the
can only
box,
handle that in theory, not in practice.
the MA is a beautiful one right out the
Yeah,
box.
it's super nice.
Yeah,
That
it's nice.
tune that I'm trying to think who put that tune up. Boy, that was something cool to do for everybody. Who was
Yeah,
that
the
to put
Yeah,
that
it
others.
up?
was. I don't know who made this tune, but
That was
Jack,
the winner of the competition in Thailand, and I
Yes.
believe it was AJ Kim might have put it up, or Jack Naraz,
Jack
one of them
Naras
two.
put it up. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he won the competition, and they were very good to show you all his settings, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. I know
Shoot, yeah.
Chris set it up.
yeah. I copied this setup in detail and tried it on my new track, which we all knew is know is a very slippery track.
Yeah, that
And
thing's
this
nice.
Looks good.
this it drives with this tune from this guy. It drives on the track phenomenal. I'm blown away how good this thing drives with the right setup. I talked a lot about this setup with Jeff,
Yeah.
and yes, this setup is very wide in the front, but that's also one thing why this thing is so stable is the very wide front and the more narrow rear is one thing why this thing is so stable. Also, there are 10 degrees camber in on the front axle in this setup. And everybody who I talked to said, "Ooh, that's crazy much." I set it up like this. It only sounds crazy much. It's not that bad if you
It
have
doesn't
it
even
set
look
up
that
like
bad.
this.
I've got the same setup on mine right now, and I mean, it doesn't look that bad. Mine, I got to check mine. I need a camber gauge. This wheel over here on this side looks like it's a little bit more, even though all of my measurements are
If
spot on.
How many shims are you using on your camber
Four,
shims?
caster. That's caster, right?
Uh,
No, there four shims in the front for the
oh,
caster
you're
is
talking
what
about
it said.
caster?
No, I'm talking
Yeah,
about
I'm doing.
the camber itself. The tire
I'm
top of the
doing
tire
three.
leaning in. It looks, and it could be just an optical illusion because it just depends on where I put my head. But it looks to me like one side's a little bit, maybe a degree or a half a degree more.
Yeah,
But like I
I
said, it
on
could be an
your
illusion.
the one on your
Yeah, I
right
got
looks
four of the
more
shims.
caster. You're right, yeah. No, you're right. Your right hand, that one, yeah,
Yeah, looks like it's a little bit more, doesn't it?
yeah.
yeah,
Measurements are
but
spot on.
So,
um
so this, all right. So right now, what you guys are talking about is why I own those white tires. You know,
Yeah,
because you setting it up. you have physical measurements. You're pretty confident in that. The MP, just for those who don't really know, but it's kind of unique. It uses a shim stack to set the caster and also the camber.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you know you
I'm
got the
on the
caster.
MA, so that's why we're different.
Oh well, yeah, but this philosophy works for all chassis. This is my universal solve everything.
Yeah,
Okay, so on my car, I have shims to set everything up. On your car, in any car, you may have shims, you may have screws, you may have whatever. But when you get to this conundrum to where you know your measurements are good because your caliper is not lying to you, but your eyes are showing you something different, great. You're not wrong. Okay, there's variance. It's called variance. That's just what it is. All right. And your eyes are,
Tolerances in parts.
yeah, exactly. So
Tolerances in parts.
your eyes are way better at finding faults than anything, right? So your eyes aren't lying to you, but you got to make your brain figure it out. So that's why I start reading tires. All right, just like any old school autocross SCCA guy, you know, you're reading the sidewall of your car. You know, you want to see how much air you got in it and so forth. Same philosophy. I have white tires that I had resin printed by Kenny Cox, and they're just they're CC style, constant contact or rounded style. And the reason why I run the all white tires, after a couple laps,
See the
I'm going to get a wear line on each tire that's going to show me the contact patch and, more
right.
importantly, the contact area on the
That's
tire.
a
So
good
then I can
advice.
now definitively, what they call, dynamically tune the car rather than statically tune the car. When you tune the
That
car in a static state, that's what we would consider a base tune.
Yeah,
But when it's on the track,
If you get
then
what you need is what you're talking about is if you see wear lines and in different places
yeah,
on the wheels,
exactly.
you know that car is out. And if you look at them, I've got that positioned where they're straight in the back and they're on the inside rim at the front.
yeah,
No,
um
certainly.
Yeah.
And the white tires are really just to read it. Like, you know, when you run a white tire on an ABS surface, you're going to see a crayon line right there. You can measure it from any center point of the chassis, and you can get down to the real nitty gritty. So anyway, that's just something that I use. And one final thing on that, just since we're talking about tuning tips, if you are interested in your caster and camber and so forth, you know, mainly your toe ins, toe outs, what I do is I take off this nut and I take a spacer, like what you would get like maybe for a body post, and I
Mhm.
mount a spacer instead of the nut. That way the spacer comes off the axle. So it gives you the
you
angle
see it
off the
very well.
axle.
Yeah.
So you see a much greater representation of
Hmm.
the angle rather than just staring at the sidewall all the time. So you actually
Yeah.
have this rod coming out that will
Some
kind of
some
exaggerate the angle. So anyway, there you go.
some really good tips there. This is really nice tips. And if you are already at this point, I want to say Fred Dodge made a live unboxing of the ARR setup system. It's available on GT55. It's not cheap, it is $99 or so, but you get full aluminum milled parts with anodizing, and uh, basically it is a setup table with everything you need for all the angles and everything on the car. And it's like for the 1x10 where you take off the wheels and attach it to the axles. Yeah. But in this
Nice.
case, they made it different. You don't have to detach your wheels. You leave them on the car and put it with wheels in this measurement system, which is very nice because you get it very correct this way. Um, and really I really think about getting one for myself because it makes set up the car much more easy. And if you have as many cars as I have, any tool to set up the car more exact is welcome because it's not so easy to maintain such so many cars.
The
Hmm.
smaller they are, too, the harder they are to. I was just thinking right then when you guys were talking, Dwight, when you were talking about putting the shim to see the axle. Could you about not 3D print like a larger, or not even necessarily a larger, but just a flat disc
Yeah.
that you could mount temporarily, like 3D print one. That way, that would give you a good, you know.
I mean, honestly, the gentleman, what was it, Justin, Roderbach, who made the tire kits. I mean,
Yeah.
and
Roundabout.
also, I mean, there's so many people here that are so creative. I just mentioned him because it's funny because people's 3D prints, they're almost like fingerprints. Like, they're never identical. I mean, he's got his printer, his style. It's weird, right? Am I joking? It's like you get
No, you're
prints
good.
from
Yeah,
all,
I completely understand. Yeah, you
yeah,
agree.
you see people that, have, real crispy prints and other prints that are just prints, but you can kind of tell someone's print by holding it almost. It's weird like that. But I
Yeah,
guess what I
printed
mean
them
is,
bad boys out.
Yeah,
well,
speaking of printing, the Deacon down here has been busy.
Yes,
I'm imagining, honestly, because I'm just thinking real wild things that have never been seen before, but I'm imagining a device like, I don't know if you guys were ever into slot cars, but they used to have like a little slot car section of track that you would set your slot car, almost like a tuning table almost. But if you had no tires on your car, no wheels, it just had the axles, right? And it had a thing that you could like slide this thing down, and like, again, this will be a complex structure, but it's actually really simple. It's just a bunch of discs and some springs. But when you slide your car in there, those discs kind of mount to the axles and float, and it'll show you how each wheel is oriented as soon as you set it in there. Boom. It'll give you like just all of the good and none of the bad. And then you can
Needs to
basically
be
take it
some
out of.
engineer to get that sorted out, mate. In
No,
that
no,
scale,
I
should
have it in the
imagine.
head, man. Don't worry, man. I have it in the head. Don't worry. I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy.
I think what Jeff done with his wooden blocks, that's as good as you're gonna get. I don't know why no one just doesn't 3D print that. That's just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shit
That
hot
well,
idea.
again, that's the same, pretty much the exact same thing. It could be a wooden
Put it
block
on
that
flat
just has
table,
everything set
slide it
up
up
in it.
against it. It's cut to a degree, measures the wheel perfectly.
Yeah,
There
well,
you go.
is that the way it's? I guess that's the way it's. Man, all I did was got on my chop saw and literally
Yeah,
cut 3 degree, 4 degree. You can mark it with. I'm a carpenter, so dude, I know he was saying that was a 10 degree camber, but man, if I slide my 4 degree block up, man, it's saying it's 4 degrees right there.
yeah, yeah. No, those numbers that they supply really aren't, because honestly, I used to run like like 3 degrees on paper, but when I would put it in practice, it was just too extreme. I was like, well, this is too much. The
I've got a
MP,
lot of
since we were
cars that are
talking
like
about
that.
it earlier, has quite a bit of camber, I guess you could
No.
say, for my taste. But since this car is so wide in the front, like we were saying, I really only mess with camber to just get the fitment. Camber really isn't doing much on these cars for me because of the tire profiles that I'm running. So it's
Especially in
really
the rear.
cambers. Yeah, I'm almost straight up and down in the rear, to be honest.
I try to
Got
do
them.
that.
I'm about half a degree in the rear, if anything.
Mine with
Um,
my little wooden blocks is showing I've got about a 1 degree. Actually, no, it's showing it's about 90. Yeah, I'm about 9, maybe a half a degree in the rear right
yeah,
now.
yeah, it's
I don't
yeah,
know
man.
if that's the way you read it. Like that guy that posted that setup, man, he had, I don't know where you get that gauge, but it looked like an old school protractor like you would get in elementary school and
Yeah,
such.
yeah, no, those are the most common gauges out there.
Yeah, I've
I'm
got
using
one
a
of them.
Bluetooth one, but
I've got one, but it's for 110 scale, 110 scale cars. I've got a proper setup board and everything. The thing Chris is talking about is similar to what I've got, but
It's a real setup station, guys. Uh,
yeah, proper
uh,
setup station.
this is not only one tool. You put the
Right,
car
right,
in
right, right.
it,
Yeah, he
and you
could
can
even measure.
immediately
Yeah,
see all the measurements. You see your toe in, toe out. You see your
caster,
camber. You see your
caster.
caster. You see everything. You only have to put your car in this construction and attach it so the wheels are flat on the surfaces.
See, that's
That's
what
all.
I'm curious if I'm
But
actually correct.
Jeff, I really have to tell you, if you don't have the 10 degrees in the front, you don't have this setup. Because I just controlled it on mine.
Hold
And
hold yours up, and I'll tell you right now because 10 degrees and 4 degrees is like super noticeable. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm wondering if this way I'm doing it with
No,
these blocks
yeah,
is even
look,
correct.
I mean, I have also not the possibilities now to measure
What's
this
that thing called on GT? What do you sell?
ARR setup system.
Yeah, I got an
This
old
this
dog,
this
man.
this
He's
4
got no
degree this
sense.
4
So
degree is a lot of mine are at 4 degree, but like a 10
yeah,
degree dude would be
I
sharp.
don't know if you can see this, yeah, because I don't have it. You can do it differently. But if I take the gear triangle and I
Here, slip
hold
over
it
to the
in
slip over a
90
little bit. You're out of
degrees,
camera. You're out of the camera. Hold up. There you go.
sorry,
You're
and
good.
I hold it in line with the bumper, yeah, and I do like this, you can see more or less clearly it is 10 degrees. It goes to the first, if you line it down, it goes to the first mark, and the first mark over here is 10, 20, 30, 40, yeah, so I'm really close to 10 degrees there.
I wonder how I'm getting these different
And I
measurements.
already see if I hold mine in the position as yours, Jeff, I
Oh,
can
I
see
see it
I have
too.
more.
I see it too, brother. I just wonder how that's
Hey,
happening because I am matching these measurements. I can't get them any closer, bro. Like they're just, I am
yeah,
matching the measurements perfectly. I've
Yeah,
checked
but
it, double,
Jeff,
triple, quadruple.
to be honest, we can talk this in a private session.
I feel you. We've been talking privately about it.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if we start now to measure our chassis, that's uh
Yeah,
not for the Sunday ceremony.
no, I feel
Yeah,
you.
Hey, I'll
So
because
what's
pay
the
to
so
see
what
that.
so
everybody
so
Okay,
we'll
can
swap
chassis
gears.
measures. Whoa. Hey,
everybody can find the measurements on the uh
I think
MA
they
group.
I think they posted them in our group too, small scale drifters. I'm not sure where it's at, but somebody reposted it in our group.
Okay, that's possible. I looked it up in the MA group.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
quicker.
there are all the measurements. And Jeff, we make a call together later, and there we can compare our setups and find out what the difference is. Uh, but now I think this is the wrong place for that.
I feel
I've
you.
just gone on
I agree because
GT
we could waste an
55.
hour
Does
doing it.
anyone want anything?
work in progress.
Okay. I just about to let my thumb go right on GT 55 if anyone requires anything.
You did
And
what?
Buy
did
it
you
now.
find it, Chris? The
Setup
setups.
table.
Did you find it?
I'm going to get an ARA setup table and give it a review.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
$99.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, I'm going
You,
to now.
That's Chris. Double down. He should have bought two.
yeah,
No,
he can buy two and send one to me.
Yep. We'll just
That
pass
would
that
be
thing
great
around.
for reviewing purpose.
So what's been going
yeah,
on in the group this week that you guys have noticed and liked?
Let's see. Start with Tronic. I'm trying to remember this past week. It was kind of hectic a little bit.
I had to say I hadn't been on there much this week. Life has just been happening.
Yeah, there you
we've
go.
had some.
Yeah, I tried some things with going live. So made a live review of the D24. Tried to make a live drift with the D24, but my battery died after 2 minutes, so I had to change the car.
Yeah,
Uh,
how are these new chassis? I got a bunch coming. I just haven't seen them yet.
You haven't got your TG yet?
No, it's coming. It's coming. It's just,
Huh.
like I said, it's, well, I don't know how it works. You know what I'm saying? But, my loyalties are my loyalties, So,
That's right. You got them from Driftaholics. I got you. I'm sorry.
yeah, I
I'm sorry.
mean,
I didn't
I
know.
don't. No, I mean, look, there's a pecking order and stuff. If this was like 2 years ago, and I was a different person, I just, I'd probably be like, oh man, where's mine? This, FOMO or whatever that is. But I don't know, man. I got to be honest, man. This hobby has taught me patience, man. I mean, it has
Uh,
taught me patience. I mean, you know, you can't
to be
reach through the phone and like and influence anyone. Oh, look at this guy. I'm gonna call
uh,
Mrs. Lewis right now. Hold up, I got her
to
number here.
to be honest, right, that's a good thing what you do. First of all, it is intelligent to buy in the States if you are in the States, because no import taxes and things like that. I believe that's the same for you as for us here in Europe. Uh, and second, I'm sure after Miko shipped it, it will be faster at your place than from GT55. Yeah. So
No, no,
this
certainly.
is absolutely understandable why you
Oh,
and
one
and
second.
also your friendship, yeah,
Cut out.
to Mikos. But I didn't think you buy the GT55, to be honest.
Yeah. So, all right. So look, 30 seconds, right? Remember, Chris? You know, like I think I got 30 seconds, right? So, 30 seconds on why it's important to have loyalties, even though it flies in the face of urgencies. Okay, loyalties over urgencies. Go. Okay, 30 seconds. It's really nice to have the convenience of having stateside stuff, same as Europe. You know, our situations are not that much different. Okay. The reality is, though, is that, and I'm on my 15-second mark, someone like Mikos or Brad, you know, and I hate using those two guys in the same sentence because they're not the same, but those two gentlemen are taking huge financial risks on a hobby. You know, they're getting really deep in debt over a hobby, and I need that ship to sail. You know, I need them to be here tomorrow. So I spend my money where I believe I think it's doing great. And again, I just look at my life and how urgent I need it. And honestly, you know, I like supporting. So anyway, there you go. 38 seconds. Oh, 45 seconds. All right. Hey, not
No
bad.
problem, no
Man,
problem.
listen,
Absolute
it's no
perfect.
problem, bro.
Uh,
Man, say as long as it takes. That truth is, that's it.
No,
Take a
no, that's
bit,
cool.
takes a bit of time.
But you know, if you got a shop that you're supporting, you know, don't worry about where other people are getting their stuff at. All right, everyone's legit. If they're not legit, they're just dead. All right, they are
yeah,
done, out
gone.
of business. It's just over with. All right, United States off guard. Even if you own the stuff that we're poo pooing, and no one's poo pooing anything, but just as an example, you know, since the community is so nice, you know, we want everyone to thrive. I mean, our ideas, they shed off of us like dog hair. I mean, this is such a thriving hobby. And now that, what's it, Onseki got involved in it, hey, come on, man. You know which direction this ship's going. Anyway.
Onosaki. While we're on the Onosaki,
I just want to say, Dwight today has good teams.
this thing
Yeah,
is
that thing is
amazing.
looking, I like the
Nice.
name. What is this thing in the back, that whole shroud thing?
The motor comes there. It is the same motor position as the BMRX Pro.
But it just has a
Man,
shroud?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it's
man.
just covered.
Dwight, this is a different gearbox, right? You're gonna freak, man.
No,
You're
I
gonna
don't want to hear
freak.
that. I don't want to
Watch,
hear that.
watch. This
It
thing,
sounds very quiet.
3 rows. I swear, I put it on my table when I unboxed it, which is for Micah, yeah?
Mhm.
Plastic vinyl surface. You can push it and she rolls, man. But
Does it have metals in the gear, or what kind of
yeah, it's
gearbox
pure
is it?
metal gearbox, man. You can't really see inside of it, but you can just see the
Um,
brass there.
Was it
from their
pre-assembled?
commercials,
Yeah, man.
I know it's a forged steel gears in it.
Wow.
This car,
That would be
for
something very new if this is true.
well,
No.
let
No
me
other
tell you now.
chassis has this.
Let me tell you about it, right? Because it got a bad rip by a certain person in the page. He knows who he is. We ain't gonna name him. He was on a sickie. He's gonna be on it, you know. Yeah, yeah. And I did say it's best to keep your mouth shut until you catch it in your hands and you look it through your own eyes, yeah. And then once you look at it through your own eyes, you can talk all the crap you want about it if you like, but it's best to wait until you see it because the talk was, oh, it's a BMRX. Now, unfortunately, I've got them all down. Just I've done it in me video launch, but I'll put it on this so more people can see it. This car comes pre-built. Whoever built it knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
Okay. With the car, you get this lovely box. You get a Lexan body.
Wheels, servo.
You get some stickers.
God damn it.
Lexan front end and back end.
Where's my
if you want
phone
to
at?
put-
Oh, I'm on it. All right, I got it.
Right. Now watch. I'm gonna keep this little baggie out because this little baggie is special. Because anyone that's got BMR is gonna love what I'm gonna show you now. If you look at the bottom arms on the two cars,
Look at that.
yeah, you can see these are wider.
Oh, it's wider.
Okay,
Good.
it's not showing up on my camera. The same design arms, but they haven't got the grooves slotted in them. But they're the same width. Now the beauty of this, what comes with this car is this little baggie, which has, I love
Yeah,
this because I look at the baby, man. For the
I
price
know, right?
of
I'm
it,
over here. I'm like, hey, this guy got a baby.
Everybody, meet Mallory. Mallory,
you get
meet
these
the
in
world.
bag. Yeah, you get these in the bag. So basically, it's a reducer kit for the car.
Oh, okay.
But out
So
of
it's
it,
a wide arm, narrow arm setup. Nice.
yeah, but you could use these on this.
Ah,
Okay.
so they're
You could put
interchangeable.
basically, you've got wide, medium, and narrow.
There you go. Sold.
So let me tell you now, anyone that's got a BMR for it, it's worth getting it. Now the other points I'll point out, because a lot of people are saying it's copy BMR, it's a different gearbox. There's no question about it. It's got the Evo back knuckles on it with the 3 grooves in it, and the Evo front knuckles. Now, the first one just had 2 grooves in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Evo, the purple pedals, they have 3 grooves in them. And you could also use them on this. So you can basically swap the hubs out from the purple stuff and put it on your Onisiki to get it purple. Purple as much as you can get it in the hub section and the arms. So yeah, 170 Japanese yen, which converted to 100 and comes with the servo as well.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I mean, it's a great deal. So what do you think about the chassis plates and stuff? They look kind of basic. I mean, when I saw it originally, they just showed the underside like a teaser shot. I mean, I wasn't too impressed. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to understand, I'm looking at cars that look like this underneath. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
the adjustment
fully,
is done through it's one piece chassis, but there's where your adjustment is.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's just such a
screws.
basic, and it's not a dig. I mean, that's just a refined design, in my opinion. And what's the wheelbase?
At its length now, which is its longest,
Bless you.
Yeah, I guess I might have to get one of those.
I'd say hurry. There was only 1,000 made.
115.
115
Also,
what made?
Oh, 115 millimeters.
Millimeters. Also, each individual car gets a chassis number. I
Jeff?
have car number
Yes, sir.
304 of 999.
Nice.
Another
Jeff,
nice touch.
Yeah.
A limited run of 1,000 in the micro scene is not really limited.
I feel
I
that's
really
a lot.
want to know which chassis beside the drift art has been sold over 1,000 times. Yeah, maybe the Atomics.
Yeah.
The Atomics. Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
also, I don't think that this car is aimed for the micro drift community.
I
think it's aimed for the 10 scale guys.
I assume that there is no DVX or so sold over 1,000 times per chassis.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those are big numbers for sure. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, 1,000 chassis isn't limited in a lot of respects, but again, I think that again, first of all, there's no representatives from Oniseki or anyone involved in micro drift. Like, these are probably primaries or machinists or manufacturers that are all kind of housed in their own like little manufacturing sectors in their regions. You know what I'm saying? And so they're probably like, hey, look, this is pretty popular. Let's make one or whatever. Because the price point is ridiculously low for what you're getting. I mean, that's a really good value.
I honestly think that the big players like Yokohama and so they order such big patches, yeah, from the producers that if they ask for 1,000 piece of a small scale car, they get the same price as they get
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
yeah,
leverage. Yeah,
and
yeah, for
so they
sure.
can produce uh much cheaper than any of the microdrift companies ever could. Yeah.
No, certainly. I'm glad that they're involved. We knew it was coming here. I mean, come on, let's get honest. I mean, if this was a flash in the pan, like I remember micros have been trying to come out into RC for decades. For decades. That was just the dream, like the Tamtec Tamiyas and all of this and the Mini Zs and all of that. And no disrespect to the Mini Zs, but like these cars deliver exactly the performance that you would expect after putting the investment into it.
They're
I've had
just
10
like
scale
they're
guys
just
tell
like
me
10
it
scale.
drift. What's that?
They're just like 10 scale cars. They drive like them.
Yeah, no, but the 10 scale guys, and again, I'm just saying from what my real experiences have been with the 10 scale guys drifting these, they enjoy drifting the smaller cars because they can actually get a little bit more rowdy. Like they follow closer, like the cars are more detailed, like the environment's more scale. Like, yeah, it's a little bit smaller, but when you want to get that drift
Okay.
sensation, when you want to feel that, I don't know what it is, that energy that just comes like through your controller and like your car is going wild. And I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, you will leave just as happy with a 24 scale as you will with any 10 scale. I guarantee it. And you'll be just as broke. So, there's always that.
Man, it's as expensive as 1/10 now. If you look
But
at the prices,
but I love it, man. I got 10 scales that I may never run unless I'm in like some huge
I
group setting and stuff. But
man, that's putting something like that can run you up to $800,000
yeah,
yeah,
just with all the
bro, but
electronics, top of the range stuff on it. You're talking crazy money now.
uh
Primarily because of what's going on with the electronic prices, they're going
yeah,
through the roof.
yeah,
Receivers are
no, yeah,
just
electronics,
receivers are costing me 4 times what they were 4 years ago. I used
yeah,
to pay £9. Now they want 36 and £38 for a receiver.
no,
yeah, but they can do much more than in the past, and they are much smaller. So that's not the point.
No, but what
And
I'm saying
Chris,
is when I
and
first got
Chris,
into this, listen, when I first got into this, the ASFR, that's micro receiver, yeah, that used to cost me £9. I used to buy 5 and get me shipping, yeah, obviously, so that I wasn't paying any individual shipping. And it used to cost me just under $70 for 5. Now I couldn't get 2 for $70 without the shipping. Prices are just,
yeah, it's
everyone says, oh, it's the electronics and the computer chip, and that's why everything's gone crazy. I understand that because my boy's into computers, and he said graphics cards last year you couldn't get them. He said the prices were through the roof. They were just phenomenal.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought about changing the chassis out on it, Dwight, but it's a different chassis, different connection and everything.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I don't know. The last video call that we did that didn't go through or whatever, because our production team is volunteer. No, I'm just joking, but yeah, I'm not. I had such a horrible time building this BMRX Pro. As I was saying in the last one, everyone, every time, it's not every time everyone, what I'm trying to say is that I got a bad one. I got I got a blem or something that just wasn't quite right from the factory. It wasn't anyone's fault. I didn't announce it to anyone because no one else was announcing it. I don't. Sometimes I'll just like keep my mouth shut and just kind of like let it go for the most part. I mean, unless it's something really egregious, then I'll certainly speak up. But my particular chassis, for those who didn't catch it the last time, all of my anodized parts, they had to be retapped, every single part. And it wasn't an easy job on this one. And it was such a horrible build experience for me. And it built great. I mean, it's 100% done. But I may never use it. I'm just not a fan of the steering system. I'm not a fan of the slide rack. I think GL's slide rack is a lot better. But I really want to find a home for this thing, So, and I'm not going to sell it either. So, we got to come together and maybe figure out someone who's got the capabilities to finish it, because I don't want to. That was the whole thing. That's how this got started, is because if you gift someone a chassis,
So sorry,
that's
guys.
great. But if you don't supply them with the electronics and stuff, I mean, you're talking an easy $200 to $400 investment, minimum, just to get it running.
Yeah.
So, I want to hook someone up, but I also don't want to put them in the poorhouse either. But I'd love to see this thing drift for somebody. There's just too much mental bad
Maybe
vibes with this chassis.
do a free raffle for it then.
Yeah, that's what I think we'll do. I'll leave it up to the group to kind of set it up. But yeah, I think we were talking about that. If someone had any electronics or something that maybe they wanted to kind of get up with it, I'll be glad to donate the chassis.
I was going to
I've got
toss
some.
in this
I've got
cheap
some.
servo, but it doesn't. Servo horn doesn't. It's smaller. This one got sent to me when I bought the
Yeah.
DWXF.
Well, listen, look, we got stores that maybe watch this. Look, I know RC Supremacy is watching this. I know Driftaholics and everyone else is watching this. I'm not saying that they're rolling it and stuff, but if you ever been to a car dealership, man, they can always find you a car seat somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, So look, I'm willing to donate this chassis, no strings attached. If someone wants to maybe help out, I'm kind of partial to these wheels, but maybe, who knows, whatever. I'm not greedy. But yeah, if we could work something out through the page where we could donate this to someone who's really, I don't know, who needs it, who believes they want it. But I don't want to give them a burden. I want to give them something that basically they can, I want it to be either receiver ready
You want to see it finished, basically. You don't want to give it someone and they just put it on a shelf and leave it there.
I'll even donate a body if I have a body. I have a Lexane body, I think. I'm just not a huge fan of Lexane in the scale. It's like I got in the scale for the details. And I love the Lexanes, but I just love these plastic bodies, man. They just roll so nice. And die cast, too. So, yeah, so that's on the menu. Let's go ahead and find this BMRX Pro, brand new, never used, never run, just assembled, base tune. I just had such a, look, I built 3 cars in a weekend. This was one of them. The other one was an LS, and this just went down buck wild. And another one was this MP, So this one here, I didn't have a great experience with it. I hope someone else does. So let's make it happen for someone.
Did you have all your parts okay with the LS? Because I heard John Strangle's got missing parts.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't get the...
That would annoy me on a car of that price.
Man,
Yes.
Yeah. When it's a $200 chassis, I'll swallow that all day long. It's a $200 chassis, man. But when I'm paying top dollar, boy, I hope that thing's all there. Because
no, I'll tell you right now, in the shopping cart with all the options and shipping, it's $780. $780 with shipping. Full option LS V2 with all the options and shipping, the $50 DHL.
Dang.
Well, the point is that no, that is certainly unacceptable. I mean, look, you get cars in the salon category, I'm not talking like super cuts, all right? And this is no diss. All of these chassis will beat your ass. They will slide your face off. I could put a body on any one of these chassis. You would not know the difference, I guarantee you. But to have something in the salon category that's over $500 unit cost, that thing better come 100% legit. I mean, TRC, they have no 100% zero issues. The original Ma, I don't think had any issues whatsoever. It is possible. Is it easy? No. But you talking almost $1,000 just for the chassis. I'm not talking the electronics. You're gonna have $1,300 in that car before it even rolls on its own power.
Have you
Okay.
got the springs at the back?
Yeah, I put my springs in the back on mine. Yeah.
No, have you not got the plate that converts them the other way?
Oh no, I do. I just see. I like a mid front setup on mine.
This is
And
the V1, Chris.
what's that?
The
Oh,
LS
that's the
V1.
Oh
V1,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
This is the version 1, by the way. Yeah, this is the version 1.
So
I'm
no
waiting on the
horizontal
version
shock.
2. I swear to you, I'm not even joking. I was on my way to do the dirty deed. You know, I'm in there. I'm like, and then I open up my Facebook. I'm looking, and he says he got a problem with the LS. And I mean, it was like so. It crushed me, man. I was like, oh my god. And then I came to the realization, like, yo, you're about to spend a guap on a. I'm like, oh man, that was, you know. So now it kind of quelched my fire a little bit. I know it's an awesome chassis, but man, LS, you got to do better, buddy. You know, you can't be coming at us with these crazy prices and then have. Listen, Q&A or QC. Look, I get it. It's the lowest guy on the pole in the organization. All right, but that is the most important person in your organization. He's literally as important as the machinist. Okay, so your hopes and dreams are dying by someone not putting a screw into your bag or whatever. I'm telling you, that's a razor's edge in business. I'm telling you, that's like naming your business after yourself. That's a big no-no. Okay, so because if you screw yourself, your whole business goes with it. Okay, so please, LS, you do excellent work. I hope you continue to do excellent work, but you got to get that QC tightened up. You cannot have almost $1,000 chassis coming short. Period.
You have to come down on some prices, if possible, so I can get one.
Yeah, well, hey, they're not for everyone. The quality is there, but man, it's got to come correct 100% out of the box. I mean, come on.
So the MA was not a cheap chassis, in my opinion, but like man, it's all, even though there was hardly any leftovers at all. Like man, this thing it's tight, man. It's sharp. There's no, I don't see what, other than maybe putting some brake discs on here, what you could have as hop ups on this. Everything's aluminum, carbon fiber, like it's solid, man.
Did it
Like
come with the oil shocks?
it's they're what, grease filled, I think.
No, no. Remember they sold the updated oil shocks?
Oh,
That comes with them.
are they? Oh, these don't have oil in them. No.
No,
Okay,
the
so Ma
ceramic.
Racing makes the updated oil shocks, for the
You could so these have a Teflon surface in the inside, yeah, and you could not completely oil fill them because they don't have the
steel.
usual plate in it, the plate.
Yes.
The
But
piston. Yeah, the
the
piston.
piston plate, yeah. But because of this Teflon surface, you can put some drops of oil in it, and it will slow down your compression of the, or if you pump it, it will slow
Yeah.
down your pump and it will not so jump.
So
Yeah,
these have a blue grease, is what appears in them from the
Oh,
factory.
nice.
that's not a blue grease, that's blue
No, it's not.
Teflon.
It's a
It's
lining
Teflon.
running down the
It's
thing. Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a Teflon
plastic.
lining.
Huh.
I got
It's a
told they were
very soft
ceramic.
plastic.
Well, I think it was Wang told me they were ceramic lined.
Huh.
Oh,
And
okay,
you
ceramic.
put the oil in, and the ceramic soaks the oil in. Yeah, and that way it slows it down.
Man.
Yeah,
I might have
exactly.
to try to put some oil in it then.
Basically, what Chris said, but I got told he was ceramic. You say it's Teflon.
Okay, I think there's a little difference because I saw the MA shocks which were sold separately, and they are not blue in the inside.
So
But the
I looked
one
for
No,
those
mine are.
shocks. Those
Mine
shocks
are.
aren't available anywhere right now, are they?
Yeah,
that's
the blue
right,
inside. Oh no, the white inside.
exactly. And the
Yeah,
shocks
it's a
that come
Teflon
with the
tube. Yeah.
MA now are blue inside. It's not white, it's blue, and it's a plastic. So and I think it's Teflon, so PTFE.
I don't know.
All right. Well, so the option shocks for the MA are not standard on the new MA, essentially.
It's the same body. It's a different shaft.
Oh, I
It's a
see. Okay, so
different.
it's the same body, just a different shaft. Because I did like the upgraded shocks. I thought they worked well.
I went
I
to try to
just
look to see if I could buy them, and I can't find them anywhere right now.
well, they
They are
only
everywhere sold out.
yeah, they didn't make a whole bunch.
And
But I haven't even put them on yet because my MA just works so good. I have so many option parts I haven't installed because I do not see what my benefit's going to be right up front. I mean, outside of
Chris,
cosmetics. So
Chris, they're the shop bought. They're the ones that I bought. I got 4 sets of them.
Yeah, they are white, and the one you
oh, you got
buy with
4
the.
sets of them. Somebody's gonna have to sell me a couple. Sell me one
yeah, I
set.
think I
No
got
chance. He
2 sets.
already
I think.
sold one to me.
Oh man! So he's got one more left to sell, doesn't he? Come on now. Come on now.
I should be getting those wheels any day.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Uh,
Oof.
I must have hit that button one too many times because
Uh-oh.
the other day another set of them showed up.
Yeah.
I don't remember ordering that many, but then again, like I said, it was
Look
3 o'clock
at
in the
them bad
morning.
boys.
I love these MAs, man. These Ma racings are just
Beautiful, ain't they?
so.
Hey, I want to see something. Stop.
See,
Right,
see.
Chris, Dwight. Listen, Dwight, Chris. Hold both your chassis up. You do the same with yours now. Jeff, have you got it, Chris? Right,
They are.
Chris, can you put the gold chassis on the new car? It looks like you can.
Yeah,
It
I
does,
can.
doesn't it?
You can. Yeah.
They are. They are nearly the same. I mean, Dwight, can you show me? The only important part would be this, and yeah, definitely, it's the. You see, the difference is here. It is closed. Uh,
It's hard to
I
see on
can't
this.
see yours.
it's a little bit. Uh, you see, Dwight's is open here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, no
this is the
problem. Let him
same.
go.
It looks the
This is the
same.
same. This is the same. This is the same.
I'm trying to
So I
get it.
think they are interchangeable.
Yeah.
So the MA was not too different from the 1.5. The
Oh,
new MA
no,
looks
mate.
fairly similar.
No, these are Jeff. These
Dwight,
are upgrade chassis plates. This wasn't the
Oh, I know.
original chassis plate.
I'm just saying overall, parts and all,
that'll be
the
going on my new
D24
MA.
wasn't too much different than the 1.5.
There are some uh uh pretty similar parts, but mostly the parts look different, and it's a lot. It's like I talked with Steve Fest about this, and what he was saying to me is absolutely right. It is like they have made the building process much more easier than on the 1.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is,
It's
if you,
refined.
yeah,
I will
exactly. It's
say
a
the build
refined
was super
version.
easy. I had a good time building this thing, man. The video I watched was fantastic. It was I like it. It was a good
Anyone with
build.
a TG that wants the pulley system, hit me up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's
hold it for me.
the
What color?
first TG pulley system, the blue.
Oh, I'll take it.
So
You want it?
does the blue
Who
TG
wants it? Who said they'll have it?
I will.
Dwight?
Yeah, no problems.
So I've also
TG.
got the blue TG coming.
I don't like it, Dwight. I
What? The
know.
belt?
Yeah, I don't. I've got it on a car. I've got the belt. I've got the Chris's gears, and I've got their gears. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Chris's gears are by far the best.
That's
The
why he's
Thank
called
you
the
TG
very
is
master
much.
of gears.
the
Yeah, the
TG
car
is
itself.
awesome, man.
Where'd you
I
get those
I
want it.
gold
love the
screws at? Those
TG.
gold screws look really good.
Man, I've
Yeah.
got 3 of them, and I, Dwight.
What's
I
that?
love it. I've got 3 TGs.
Yeah.
I just freaking love them, man. I bought 4 when they come out. Built one. I think it was Don Brett. Oh no, I bought 5. 6.
Surely
Don
not.
Brett got one. Yeah,
Surely
Don
not.
Brett got one.
Bro, you bought 10 if I can remember you. You bought 10 and kept
I can't remember.
wanted to keep only 2, but then one guy didn't buy his. And that's why you ended up with 3.
I've come to the
I
conclusion
remember
that
very correctly.
that y'all are
Clear.
bad influences.
I'm so back and forth on switching the front arms on the original TG. You know, I got to be honest. I mean, I've been holding a lot of some pretty prime hardware here, but I mean, the original TG is such a great design. I mean, this front bulkhead is so unique and so. That's why I love this hobby. It's like, just the engineering approach that everyone has. It's like the front bulkhead on any of these cars is just as iconic as any front grille on any car, and it was disappointing to me. And again, I'm just going to be honest, I'm not thrilled about getting this new because it seemed to me, and again, I'm not being super critical, it just seems that for whatever reason, it visually looks different than the teaser pics that we got. I don't know, maybe it's the anodizing. On the video that we shot last week that we lost, I was just saying that, I am kind of tired of the all black chassis. I mean, they're just so boring. And the anodize, I get it. We only have a certain color palette that we could choose from and so forth. But, the Ma 1.5 versus this, the new one, the M24 or the D24, I don't know. I want it to be, I don't consider it a 2.0. I consider it like just a 1.8. It's just too close in the lineage of what I actually have. Same thing with the LS Studios. There really isn't a whole lot on the LS, the new one, that isn't already found on the old one, So it's like, I almost want to just,
Jeff,
Yes, sir.
accumulate those parts to convert it maybe.
You
But
about got her going, don't you?
yeah, I don't know. If you're going to come out with a new chassis, again, Atomic, great example. I mean, you want new chassis, great. I'll give you a whole new suspension. I'll give you a whole new chassis. I'll give you a whole new layout, between the MS and the MP and then the DRZ. I mean, Atomic is probably, if TG didn't exist, I think Atomic would just have it so locked up with basically everyone's first chassis or whatever, because with an Atomic, you're going to get a real building experience, not as brutal as a drift art, but it's a real build. You got the small washers and the shims and all of that, stuff. It's got a ball diff.
And their instructions are phenomenal. Atomic.
Yeah, so I would always recommend Atomic, but now that TG's on the market and now on Onseki, I got to be honest. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the Onseki. I just didn't want it, because if I want it, then I want to have it. And the price was right. Everything looked good. When the gentleman started kind of dogpiling on it a little bit, I was kind of wise in my own words. I just said, look, I'm just going to hold my water until I actually see it. Because I know that the Decon right here, this gentleman right here, if I had a picture of this guy, I'd show my wife. But this is why we're broke, honey. This guy right here in the middle.
Yeah, that's exactly
pusher,
right.
drug pusher.
Terrible
Anyway.
influence. Terrible
But no,
influence.
he'll come on here, like just with the TG. When I saw the original TG, I was like, how basic, blah, 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 whatever. But when he started breaking it down and I actually saw the beauty in the basic, basic can be beautiful,
Absolutely.
And it is such a slayer of a chassis. This budget TG is the best chassis that I have for anyone who comes to my house who just wants to, mess around. It's just awesome. So anyway, I would jump on these in a second. Yeah, I thought I was going to own another one, but then they came out with the new TG, and I didn't want to like that one either. But it's also butter, so I mean,
It's hard not to like them when they're good, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's.
Man,
I don't know.
Wait, look at the aluminium work on the front on the new one.
Is that which one? The TG?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
it's freaking beautiful, man.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
it is a beautiful chassis.
Someone put a post up this week when he was building it, and man, he's got that thing. Me and Jeff have both had the same sort of problem, as you see when I hold it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
one arm stays loose, but the other one, it locks up. And it's all down to when you put the top section on the bulkhead, for some reason, one of your arms will go stiff. But I've seen it on the page. It can be remedied.
I just don't want to have
Didn't
to take
someone say
mine.
that
I
they
don't want to have
just?
to take it completely apart to get it, but like I'm thinking I'm going to have
Oh,
to.
I don't care. No, I don't care. I'll take it about 1,000,001 times to get it right.
I feel you.
I can't.
Well, that's
Yeah,
sometimes that's what
I
you got to
couldn't.
do.
I couldn't
Didn't you
drive
say
that
that you
car.
had it together, then you exercised it extra vigorously, and then it kind of started working? Who was that
No,
that we were
no,
talking to?
I did.
no.
I when I first put it together, man. Before I put that front bulkhead, the connecting piece that connects the top to the bottom, man, the thing was just floppy. Like it was perfect. And then just I put that one piece in, and I have no clue why. But yeah, I actually put some of my favorite gunfighter gun oil in some of the joints where I thought it would help. Backed off the way the arms are held in, you can actually back some tension off of the pins. I
Hmm.
backed some tension off, put some oil in. I took my air compressor and I blew the oil out as much as possible, just so it's got like a nice, super thin coat. And
Yeah.
then I worked it and worked it and worked it, and it helped a little, but like it's not where I want it. Let's put it that way.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, with the newer people who may be watching this, don't get caught too much in, like, you want to get the thing on the table as soon as possible. You want to start sliding it as soon as possible. So get your base tune and your assembly done. And you know what? As far as the caster cambers and all this other kind of stuff, it's super important. Don't get me wrong, right? But we're trying to get you to that fun first principle, right? We're trying to get you to have some fun. And if you're not having fun with your high-end drift car, pick up yourself like a K989. You know what I'm saying? Like one of these WL toys, a little basher, they're like 50, $60. And the reason I mention those is because you're going to have some fun. It's going to reignite that flame that's starting to die out. Because trust me, I mean, you start climbing these mountains right here, and you're going to really question yourself, a little bit. You're not going to be having fun at some moments.
Unless you're
So
a psychopath like me and some of those others that enjoy actually working on them, that's part of the fun.
yeah, no doubt, for sure. But when people post on our page, the WL Toys, prime example, there's a lot of examples, SG, WL Toys, and so forth. But those cars are essential in this hobby. They're essential.
Yeah.
They allow people, number one, to get their hands used to this tiny scale. It's very difficult. In fact, it's very intimidating, even for a guy like myself who handles a lot of stuff all the time. Having to pull apart a car like this that's very fragile doesn't really have a lot of appeal to me. But if you've done it a couple times, you realize they're very strong. I mean, these cars are literally very robust. They
Yeah,
can
but
take a tear
you
down.
can mess them up. That's for sure.
No, for sure. And so again, have fun in this hobby, get sliding around, because sliding around is going to develop the interest that you want in the hobby. Maybe that's all you want to do. Maybe you want to drift, but you realize, hey, I just like bashing. Hey, that's awesome. Go out, power slide your face off. Once your car or truck or what have you is doing what you like it to do, when you have that connection and you're starting to get that, now you're having some fun.
Or
And
you
then
could be, or you could be like Johnny Incognito, which is literally bashing his drifter. So
yeah, I mean,
jumping bridges and throwing the bumpers off, and like I can't say
there's
enough
no
cool stuff
wrong way
about
to
it.
do it. That's another beauty of the hobby. I think that with the creativity and the paint jobs and just the tuning setups, I know guys that are running anti-camber. I know guys that are running crab setups. Um, it's all fun and games until you get into your group environments, when you're tandeming or in trains and so forth, because then to Ryan's, issues, yeah, it can be a solitary and lonely hobby. But you know what? So is working out. So is meditation. So is a lot of things. You could describe this hobby
It's a good point.
in a lot of ways. If you try to take micro drifting and turn it into a social hobby, in as far as in a physical sense, wow, you're really in a blessed neighborhood or a blessed community. A lot of us don't really have a lot of people that get it or get it on this scale, pardon the pun. So if you are by yourself, you're not alone. You got these gentlemen right here. Yeah, I got every
I'm
single time
alone.
zone in the world represented on this phone right here. You got
Jeffro,
problems in the future, call Chris Tronic. You got problems in the immediate future, call this guy, the Deacon. On the East Coast, call me. In the middle of the country, call my guy right there. It's just I think that
I'm in North Carolina, but yeah, like I mean, anybody's more than welcome to call. But I,
yeah, I'll
I'd rather
take
you
any
text.
call.
Just kidding.
Yeah, just put something drift related, and I'll take that message. It don't even matter. I just
listen, I'll answer any call 24 hours as long as it gets a note from PayPal first saying I've had a nice big payment.
yeah,
And then I will answer your requests. Well,
yeah,
no, I'm
yeah.
joking, only joking, man.
You
Yeah,
can
where
ask
are
the
you
Um,
deacon.
from?
You can ask the deacon. I'll answer anytime. If I'm in the shower, I'll
Yeah,
answer.
Yeah.
I
so
think
guys,
most of us, if we're in bed, we
example,
don't answer. It's because we're in bed, yeah, or we're busy. But usually, you will get a response within an hour or two.
Yeah.
example of never give up, guys. Also Jeff and Chris, yeah, with your ESCs. If something rips off from your ESC or so, I ripped off the on/off button of my Fury Tech, and just
Don't do that.
How did you do
uh,
that?
yeah, I had a little problem with one of the connectors. It got pulled off from and when I tried to put it back on, somehow the push button jumped away and it was broken.
Huh.
But I found a little bit bigger but still fitting button in my drawer, and just right now in the last 15 minutes where I was a little bit quiet in our conversation, I managed to solder it on the FuryTech ESC, and we
Cool.
can now turn it on again over the normal button,
Dwight, just off
and
the
it
drift.
works. And
I'm not sure
also
if it shows you these, but if I'll
turned off.
send you them gears, are they any good to you? I
Which
think
gears?
they're off a crawler, yeah. They're off a crawler. Well, if I'm going to send you the pulley, I might as well
Okay.
send you them.
You
I've
got
got
what
2
scale for the
packs.
crawler?
I don't know, mate. I think they're for an SCX.
Yeah,
They're pretty
probably.
chunky. They're
Yeah.
pretty chunky, mate.
Yeah. They look like they're brass.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, cool.
They're
Yeah.
heavy.
I have some mates that I could, I mean, just put it on my tab. Oh, how is that sleep near going?
I haven't got it running yet. I've got so much shit that I've been doing. I've been messing with wheels all week. I've been busy at work as well. We've got family over from Canada, so they're like flitting around different members of family, and yeah, before I know it, I've got no time to myself. Yeah, I love it, man. Jeff's got his wired up, I think.
Shit. What now? Sorry, I got a cat knocking
You,
at the door and won't come in.
you sleep near.
The
Sleep
sleep
Got
near.
it
near.
wired up, haven't you?
Dude, I love my sleep near. The thing's awesome.
Have you got it wired up?
At the moment, I had it wired up. The ESC wire broke off of it, so now it's no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. Let me tell
Man,
you,
that
this car's
I've
mega
never
bueno.
I've never had that really happen before, but yeah, sure enough, it's
If I won the lottery, I would have someone machine this out of alloy. I'm telling you, this is such a crazy chassis. I mean, this is by far my favorite chassis just to look at and just to try to understand what kind of hash Kilimanjaro was smoking over there. I mean, he's got to be smoking like petrified monkey tail or something, man. I mean, how do you
petrified
get these
monkey tail.
designs, man?
Yeah, it looks like glass, doesn't it? The
Tell
actual
you,
The
man.
blue one. He sent me a couple of front knuckles that were in gold, and the gold for whatever reason prints a little bit cleaner. I
It's
feel like
nylon. It's
nylon. That's right,
Chris said.
right.
Yeah, it's the
Anyways, it
silk.
prints.
Yeah, it's
It
that
prints
silk
a
aspect.
little
It's
bit better.
silk.
It seems like.
That's why.
Silk, I mean.
It's
Not
silk.
nylon, silk.
Silk.
And again,
No,
you know,
no
budget
cheap shit.
chassis.
Hey, Dwight, no cheap shit for me. Oh, no language. No cheap stuff for me and you, man. We didn't go with the plastic. We went with the silk.
Yeah,
Well,
we had to do the
brother, he
silk.
had
Well,
it
you know, the
already.
funny
He
thing
had it
is
already done,
he
and said
no
that
no
it would be easier to send. So that's the reason I did it.
he dropped those chassis, and I said, because I had to have one, and I didn't realize that he was leaving that chassis, like he was pivoting away from it, like because he had been working on this chassis for years, and then
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm moving on to a different chassis. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I said, I want to get one. He goes, oh, what color do you want? I said, oh, I want gold. He's like, oh, I don't have gold. I said, oh, I really want gold. He's like, oh, I have to buy some gold. I said, yeah, just let me know what it costs and just buy the spool. You know, he goes, oh, no, it's not necessary. I've had people ask before, but apparently printing the silk colors, whether it be blue, purple, gold, what have you, a little bit different printer settings. But he said his first rip or his first run, which actually was this particular chassis right here, came out so good, he was going to keep it for himself. And then he showed it me, and I said, no, that's it. That's perfect. And he's like, I want to make some others. And I think the other ones weren't coming out quite right. That was where that delay came in for yours, Chris. And then, I mean, but I love this chassis. It's, if I wanted to really blow someone away, I would show them this chassis. I don't care what is on the table.
The ESC mount, you know, on the back flat plate, yeah. It looks like it's glass that's been engraved internally. It's quite. Can you hold it close to the camera? It's quite bizarre when you look at it. No, the top plate, the top of it.
Yeah. But
oh, you've got a different plate on the top of yours, Samana.
It's this was a chassis he was making for himself, and then he didn't have another gold, so you know, I don't know. So so this one, I think it's almost identical to yours, but every single one is different.
Yeah, I haven't got the 3 holes in the top bit, I don't think.
It is not. Everything is different. Everyone is different. You got a different production state than Chris has.
Yeah, exactly.
It is like my Mikey 9 look different than the one I sell because mine are prototypes. Not everything is production ready. You build that car as a prototype, then you drive it for 2 to 3 months. Yeah. And
this thing still has the smoothest. This thing has the smoothest chassis of any
I'm
of them.
just talking. Sorry, man.
Check out these top little joints.
Sorry.
Check out these rod ends right here. I mean, the printed rod end is actually like scalloped and like. I mean, come on, man. This guy is just on one, man. I mean, this guy really took a lot of time to refine this thing.
Tronic, did you get the Cricket? Did you get the Cricket? You got the Cricket coming?
The 43
by Kilimanjaro?
Oh no! I didn't. No! I didn't order the 1x36. I didn't order any of his chassis at the moment because, but I was talking to him a lot, and I follow his progress since more or less the beginning, since the chassis before the Sleipnir, to be honest, because the Sleipnir is not his first chassis, or Sleipnir, or however.
Sleipnir.
It's not his first chassis, and I follow him since before that chassis, so I know the one he kept for himself was the first production run. Yeah, it's like the second prototype. Yeah, so you came to the conclusion at some points. Yeah, that's okay. Now I start producing them, and during building this first batch, you realize, this could be better, that could be better, and you do the changes again, and the second batch looks a little bit different, even if it is the same construction and the same car. That's just how it works. That's why, Chris, yours is a little bit different than Dwight's, and I'm sure if we look very close to Jeff's, it is also a little bit different.
Yeah. So the orange chassis, Dwight, that you've got right now, is that?
Yeah, so this is this is a super OG chassis, right? This is a Puro Loco or a PWK, and these have a really interesting story. So there's a guy named Matt Goki, who is a real old school drifter. Known him for a really long time. He's a younger guy, but he's been in drifting for quite some time. But essentially, the backstories on these is I think I want to say over in Malaysia or in Singapore. I can't exactly remember where Mr. Purwoko is from. This guy right here who made these chassis, but essentially in that locality over there, the kids and everyone who want to kind of participate as players, so to say, they were making their drift chassis out of old credit cards and all sorts of cobbled together stuff, right? So this guy, Pirawoko, he designed kind of like an everyone chassis. So everyone could have like a quality car and so forth. So you're talking 3D printed cars that have like active rear camber.
That's cool.
Or excuse me, active toe. I'm sorry, active toe. Fully
Wow, this is the
printed
most
shocks. I mean, this car is a fully printed car, and these were the I want to say the national or regional championship winning chassis at that time. So maybe 2 or 3 years ago, these PWKs were pretty much the standard as far as comp drifting went, and this was in the 28th scale. These are a little bit smaller, as you can see, than the 24th scale stuff. So the PWK, I don't even know if you can get them any longer. This is the mid motor version. I have a rear motor version, and this has the thin plate, and I also have the thicker wide chassis versions. I just went all out, custom colors. But again, these are some of the earliest examples of drift chassis that you can get. If you go and you do like a keyword search of mini drift or micro drift or whatever in Google, you're going to see PWK probably some of the very first offerings. I mean, outside of home built stuff. And I was really fortunate. Herlander Noriega, I think, is the guy who hooked me up with that. And he's also the guy who hooked me up with a Ride with Lenses, RWL. Back when all this first got started. So real great bunch of people. I don't know what happened to Mr. Wilco. His Facebook's been deactivated. I just hope he's doing well. But yeah, if it wasn't for this guy right here, there'd be a huge sections of communities that wouldn't even have access to drift cars, and they'd still be making them out of household
I'm
items.
wondering when Lewis and Tronic are going to start working on the small scale drifters original chassis and print.
It's such a big undertaking.
Look, Tronic made that years ago.
Seriously, I have not seen. I've never seen it.
Man.
Well, Chris, how come I didn't know about this?
That's Chris's car, bro. Fucking drifts like a little demon.
Wow, dude, I had no clue. Well, how long ago has that been out?
Oh, I worked on this from 2020 to 2022.
Man, I've missed so much. I feel
years.
like I've just missed so much.
No,
like Lewis, you are so far ahead of me in knowing all of this mess. It's like you're just a wealth of knowledge of everything.
So
Michael,
I talked before about the prototype that looks a little bit different. This is my green SLS Mercedes. I don't know. This is many people already know it.
I've seen it.
Take off everything from this car.
Oh,
so,
Johnny Incognito bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a little bit more as what Johnny.
Oh, that's rad, dude. That's so rad.
Nice.
So you've got the engine part on top of it too? Oh, you dirty dog.
Is that a die cast?
No, it's a plastic Revell model.
Wow.
It's light as shit.
Bro, that's awesome.
And this is my prototype.
You got some aluminum on that too, don't you?
Yeah, I made this aluminum by myself. on my own little CNC.
Dude, that's
Yeah, we gotta get
awesome.
some pictures on the page for that. I
It
Absolutely.
has it has
I want
a
to know
pretty
when I can buy
similar.
one. When are you going to print me
I
one of those?
Wait a second. Is that there's no rear lower arm or?
Oh yes, it has rear lower arms,
It
Oh
but
just
yeah,
it's
because it
disappeared
says
somehow.
the same thing as the drift up
BRS.
has.
Oh, so you got the
Yes.
rotating. Oh, that's sick,
BRS.
Yeah,
bro.
it's the
That's sick.
BRS, and it has active counter toe. That means if you make the body roll, one side, I don't know if you can see it
Yeah,
I
yeah.
now.
I, I kind of
Opens up.
did. Yep.
You see, it is like steering in the rear.
Yeah, yeah. I
Wow,
like it.
dude. Wow. So
Yeah, and
cool,
it
dude.
makes them very stable. You can hold drifts extremely long, and it make them very stable. But it never. I mean, I sold about 100 of these chassis, or a little bit over 100. Uh, but it
Man,
never
I feel
never
bad that I missed
made
it.
made the jump. It always bought by newbies who yeah, they used it for 1 year or so or longer, yeah, and then they disappeared again. So yeah, sadly nobody really set them up for drifting besides me and used them. But yeah,
Who
it
knows?
was
We
the
Hey,
might
car
we might
where
see a
I
post. We might see a post uh when this
it
podcast
is
comes
it
out.
is
Somebody might just bring one to the surface. We've got 10,000 members,
it
and
was
11.
I was thinking about 11,000. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, we were talking about the Onoseki having only 1,000 units, and we're like, well, that's a lot. Well, man, we've got 11,000 members in this group, and I'm just surprised that there's as much stock as there is. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people actually buying.
Well, that would mean that there's only 1 out of 100
Yeah,
in the group that gonna get one. That could get one, right?
right.
So
Well, I'm just saying,
yeah,
like the TG.
these
I don't
are
know how
all
many units were produced of the TG. Lewis might know. How many? What now, Lewis?
The
this was the
TG.
first.
Yeah, how many
Uh,
units of the TG Super, the first round? How many units came out of that?
200 he sold.
Gotcha.
By the way, this was the
No,
chassis
tell a
where
lie.
the
He sold 200 in China, 200 in Europe, I think.
what's that, Chris?
Or worldwide, 200 overseas and 200 went on Taobao.
So there's a few more chassis left. The last I looked on
That
GT55, it's just
TG was on, man, that TG was on Taobao for about 3 weeks before anyone bought it, apparently, he said, because he didn't think it was going to sell.
right.
He said he put it on the Taobao site, it just wasn't moving. Then all of a sudden, I suppose once I've done my demo, people buy.
Shoot, yeah. But sometimes they
by
need to
the
see what
way
it looks like.
Yeah, no, they got to start hooking Chris up, man. I mean, this guy's put more chassis in hands than anyone else. I
He's the
mean,
deacon for a reason.
yeah,
It's not just because of his devastatingly good looks.
yeah, right.
Man, do you know
We
what?
got filters for that.
Yeah,
I
he's got
like,
a couple
I like,
filters. I like the
I
sideburns
like,
and the. Go ahead. What?
yeah, I like. No, you gotta be true to the cause, haven't you? If you're gonna buy something, yeah, then you can buy it with your own cash, and you could just turn into if it's real nasty. Who knows? You can go real crazy on that.
Oh, wow, right.
You can go real mad. You can go real mad. But
Look
if
at
that
that.
thing's really good, well,
There it
hey, we
is.
gotta
There
act
it
Oh
ourselves.
is.
man,
Let's see some shade. That car's a real cool motor, man. That's
nice.
one real cool daddy. If
He's
that
the
thing
king
reaches
right
like
now.
this, you gotta take your eyes and look at that thing properly. Let
That's
me
it,
tell
man.
you, you gotta check
Dude,
that car
dude,
proper.
you need
Oh
to.
man, the
That
You,
kids
car's
will
you
love
should
gonna
this
give
stuff.
you some
permanently glue
serious
a wig on your head that
trouble.
looks like that. It
Oh
fits
man,
so
but at
good.
the end of the day, if it gets the endorsement, dun, dun, dun,
Oh yeah,
dun,
so
you know the deacon has given it the thumbs up. When she gets the glowing figures, the Chris Tronic, my K989, what a beautiful car. He gets the endorsement.
That's the
nice.
king, dude.
Yeah, that's the
You know what
king.
I'm
Yeah, there
saying?
you go. Hey,
So
real quick, so those new total pivot here, but those new batteries, those hard case batteries,
They look
um,
good.
they do look good, but again, I'm just saying, all right. The battery they keep showing it next to is this GL jobby right here, this little GL battery, right?
Looks bigger.
Yeah.
In my Ma, that thing is so skin tight in between these frame rails. I just don't understand how it could fit the Ma, so maybe it won't be able to. It's
Dwight,
just
let me tell you now. See that battery you've got? I've got a box full of them. Them batteries fit anytime I have to fit them batteries going on top of the car. Because even the cars,
Yeah.
I've taken the top deck off of cars to remove the center supports out so I can get them batteries in. But like Dwight said, they last. You get a good half-hour run out of them batteries.
Mm.
Maybe a bit more. I can't find my battery tin. It might have blown up.
But those GL batteries are my favorite, just from a performance and size point of view. But I generally, I could really care less, honestly, about most batteries. Like I'll buy the generic little finger style batteries, like the drone batteries and so forth. But the GL, like the punch that I get out of this is a 50C, I think. Yeah, this is a 45C battery. That I like it, and also I like the Ma racings and all of these gear drive setups because the only thing I like. I like the gear drive setup slightly over the belts because I can run the higher KV motors, and I feel like I have that real like power connection, like it's like right there. But my daily is my belt driven drift art, and I love the power delivery of a belt drive. It's so plush. It's so, I don't know. It's quieter. It's just something different. Now it cannot take all of the sauce, because the belt will slip.
The MAD24 has 2 tooth belts, so it's the same. It has also absolutely no slip. It's the same as a gearing with a
Yeah.
little more resistance because the belt has a resistance in itself.
Yeah.
But everything else, there is not slip or this feeling like driving underwater that you often get with a drift art.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like it is underpowered or so. That's the slip in the motor pinion.
Yeah.
What you feel there. And this does the MA24 doesn't have that.
Yeah, so if you follow this logic, right? So when you're just starting out, and I would never, well, it's not that I haven't, but I generally wouldn't recommend a drift art for a newer person getting into it because it's just such a mountain, you know what I mean? But if you do have the opportunity to get a drift art or a belt driven or fully non-cogged belt, like I'm talking an O-ring belt drive system, right? If you're just starting out, I actually prefer that because it actually softens the power delivery and such. So you're not really spinning out as much, because you get that really heavy finger, you're adding that power. And so with the belt naturally slipping with the higher power motors, the belt drive is a little bit more forgiving. You don't have that super connected power delivery.
It's kind of like
so it's
loosening up
not.
a ball diff.
Yeah, it's just there's something a little bit more forgiving about those non-cogged belt drives that I prefer a little bit. It makes me a better driver because you get a little kind of uppity in it. You really want to give it the sauce, and then you're getting out of your form. You're acting a little wild. That's when things are going to break. You're going to run into something or whatever. But I think the belt drive helps me kind of cushion that a little bit. I don't know.
Dwight,
I'm not a fan.
Whether it's got a belt on it or gears, I can run into something.
Yeah.
It makes no difference to me. I'll, if it's in the room on its own, I'll run into it. It's just
I mean,
I am a drift car magnet to all things that can smash your car.
Oh yeah, during that last call, we also were talking about an exo cage.
Yes.
Possibly someone can print an exo cage to put over these, just a generic or, what have you, just so we could see the chassis. This is such a great idea because
Ryan Blackwell said that he's already
tuning,
done it for a 10 scale.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, we lost that in the video for last week, but I just thought it was such a great idea because of the fact that you could do all your tuning and all your adjustments. You have a cage to protect it, because, these arms, I mean, you catch a chair leg or something on here, and let me tell you, you're not going to be a happy camper,
Catch an $8 barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that's another thing I must bring up, actually. There's a lot of people on the page that can print, yeah, and we can assure you now to print a barrier and put a bit of what can I call it, sculpting on it, and then put 2 forklift grooves in the bottom of it. For $8, I genuinely thought I was going to get 10 of them bad boys. And when I seen that the price was $8 each, me and Chris worked out that you need approximately, how many was it, Chris?
Yeah,
280?
I
About
have
$10,000 worth.
160 on my track, and that's not much.
How
So
much have you got?
if 160, so we are
And that's not the
talking 1,200.
$2,000.
For
Yeah,
some
Yeah.
just for
plastic barriers.
barriers.
no disrespect to the chap, but if I've got $2,000, I'm gonna spend that on 4 or 5 luxury cars, bro. I ain't gonna.
Yeah,
So,
it's
all right,
kind of high.
Second,
so I don't.
yeah,
I'm gonna
you
just
can
say
buy
this
a
before the
box.
conversation gets too far down that road. That the
Yeah.
guy, that we're talking about, I know that they are, as far as in the commercial space, as the retail space. All right, and I'm not talking the hobby space. I'm talking this guy feeds his family with this stuff. All right, in the retail space, that guy's STLs and his products are pretty much the standard, as far as what people would expect out of a high-end print, and I know that gentleman will not even do a print commission unless he actually has the original source files or the actual product. Like, he is not going to wing it, so to say. Like, it is literally built to specifications. Now, that being said, does that level of passion required in that? No, but I'm glad that he's there doing it. I'm glad that there are people in this environment that are willing to put in the kind of passion and the fidelity to detail that it takes to have small scale drifters, right? Now that comes at a price. Yeah, $8 a barrier, man, that's steep as hell. All right, great. Okay, awesome. All that's saying to me is I need to learn how to 3D print. All right.
I can't 3D
No,
print.
I'm just saying because that's why I'm trying to take control of this conversation just
Yeah, I
before it spins
understand.
out of control.
I get what you're saying.
Is
Yeah,
because
me too.
no, this hobby is look, you could be like me and make halfway decent grades in school, make excellent grades in training school, do excellent work on the job for almost 40 years. All right, I'm 51 years old. All right, I would imagine and hope and pray that anyone watching this with any FOMO or whatever, look, make 10 good decisions back to back in your life, and you could do whatever you want in life. 10 good decisions back to back, you won't even recognize your life anymore. You will run out of dreams. Okay. You will have to create new dreams. All right. And my new dream now is have a thriving community, brotherhood, sisterhood. I don't know what you want to call it, a cult. It doesn't matter. But these tiny cars and the amount of knowledge and dedication it takes to enjoy them doesn't take a lot. But, we're here for you all. And I just want people to understand that if you're feeling a certain way about this hobby, you're normal. Okay. You're normal.
We all do at a certain point.
All right. I'm going to let it go at that. I could get long winded on it, but, just, this is more than these cars. You know what I'm saying? I hope people are getting that. I hope that they're getting that, and so when it comes back down to what we were originally talking about, these barriers and the cost and the price point, listen, no one's going to fault you for saying that, hey, man, I can't afford that. I can't afford it. All right. I can't afford it. All right. But I'm like, you know what? I could do that. I know that this gentleman over here can print them. I know he can print them.
But what it would
I
cost,
feel
you could
like I'm
set
as smart
yourself
as
up to
they
do
are.
it.
Yeah. I got printers out there in my garage that are still in the boxes. All right. I just haven't come into that problem yet to where I'm like, dang it, I got to learn how to do this stuff. Blam, 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 you know? So, I think that, when we get this chassis built for someone and gift that out, okay, when we start coming up with these 3D printed parts that'll be on source files that will be available for members for free, if they want to get into resin printing, we'll supply them a source files that, they could use. Free to use. We stuff that we know is good
That would be
because,
cool.
well, it's got to be because, this hobby is going to stagnate and die if we don't get all hands on deck with the creativity. Like, this is the one hobby that you could literally take a piece of doo-doo and wrap it up in a piece of carbon fiber, and someone's going to buy it because it's micro scale drift, So I want more people to get involved. I'm glad that the prices can be prohibitive.
Me personally, when someone, because I said when the BND come out, I said straight away, yeah, I'm going to buy it. And someone contacted me super quick, G from Garage RC, and he said, bro, I've got 2 of them cars. I wouldn't charge you for it. I would feel so embarrassed I won't send it to you. He said, it is real bad. Now, when someone tells you something is real bad, at that point then, you don't even look into it yourself, especially when you know the guy, he knows what he's talking about. He's built many cars. He's got his own YouTube channel, Garage RC. He's just done a lovely, I'll put it up on the page, TG review. He's now going to do a review for the Oniki, I think, over the weekend on a sickie, which I'll put up on the page because he goes into far more detail than I do. And he gives honest opinions. I mean, we both give honest
good to have those
opinions on
guys.
the XRX, and it didn't get us in a good stead with the people, but hey, that's the way life goes. So, so be it. But yeah, just.
Is there a perfect chassis?
Yep.
No,
I don't think so.
No,
Yep.
No, I don't believe so.
There is.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, it depends. It really
Well, I'm
depends.
saying, like, if you're asking me, if again, like, just out of the box, like, straight up, I would recommend GL. I would recommend the TG, the OG TG, because I don't have the new one yet. But I'm just saying, just the accessibility of these things,
Yeah.
And I guess the atomics, the atomics. The only thing with the atomic is the gearbox. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this, but if you built enough atomics, you'll realize that they got 2 sets of gear molds. They got a really crispy gear set mold, and they got a really bad gear mold, right? So if you give over the bad gears,
as well. When you pull them out, you can look at it, you can see the teeth and everything. You think, oh man, I got to cut a file to them. You got to go. You got listen. You got to put a piece of 1600.
I use a brass toothbrush. I use a really fine brass toothbrush, and it really does the job rather well. But anyway,
I'll try that.
But the atomics, I think, I just want to say the atomic, considering all of the different chassis variations that they have, all of the support parts that they have, all of the community that they have. I would say that the atomic overall is probably the most robust, and then TG probably after that, Drift Art. And then I don't know, they're all good. It's just as far as getting out there, value for money and so forth. I think the Atomic and TG are probably the 2 best.
G's already put a post up on the Drifters today with his honest sickie on it, and he's an honest man. He's like me. He ain't gonna bull it because he's paid for it like me. And he says, I love it already. Has anyone run it yet? No doubt he'll have it running later. Josh Soto just says he wished that the overdose would have been first to jump into this. So, yeah, it's
all right. So
I think there's a lot to come in micro drift in the near future. I hope a lot of companies follow suit and start getting into this, man. I think it would be a good thing. I think we're on the edge of something good, guys. I really do.
Look at this from just a financial point of view, right? You track owners, right? I'm talking to you, track owner, right? Fine. You pay for your space by the square foot, all right? Let's not get it twisted, all right? Every square foot of that place costs you probably $1,000 to $5,000 a square foot, all right? Retail space, okay? If you're talking that you can get someone to put 10 or 15, 20 bucks, whatever your daily track thing is, for a palm-sized car, all right? I don't care. If I walk into my shop and I see baseball caps and I know that I'm seeing $10 to $15 for every single baseball cap, and I see a small little ping pong sized table over there, and I got 15 swinging Richards over there at 10 bucks a piece, that's
Absolutely.
150 bucks.
It's
I mean,
awesome.
come on, man. You guys in that large scale need to get off these high horses, because I'm telling you, I will drop this baddie on your track. I will scalpel you up with this little thing, and then we'll set them down next to each other, and your overdose is going to look like antiquated. I'm telling you, it's just the only thing that they've got is a whole bunch of silk screening stuff to kind of jazz it up, man. But when it comes down to the actual geometries and full wheel steerings and all this other stuff, man, these micro drifters are kicking your ass. All right, so that's basically it.
Can I just add a thing? I got a bit naughty with a member, only because it really annoys me that someone asks, "Okay, where did you get the car from?" And I thought, if you watch my video that you've obviously seen, I said at the beginning, the reason it's not covered in GT tape is because it's come from HRC Arena. And then I get asked, where'd you get the car from? And I tell him, RC Mart. Now I'm telling him that because at the time, HRC Arena, I've got none left in stock, and RC Mart, I've got about 40. At which point I get then asked the question, how much you pay? Now, at this point, I'm getting a bit vexed because man, you've asked me where you can get it, and I've given you the link, RC Mart. Go and please,
Go
don't be
look.
lazy. Use your thumbs and go and check the page for yourself. You see what the price is. What I pay is irrelevant. Yeah, it's irrelevant what I pay. Anyway, so at that point, I did say, look, I paid £175. Are you the tax man? Why do you need to know where I got it, what I paid? Blah, de blah. I'll give you the advice you needed. And then he says, yeah, I'll sort of about, he'll tell me the price of any RC stuff he's got without any hesitation. But I wouldn't ask him the price of any RC stuff because I go on the internet and I find out the price myself.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is it. If I go a bit naughty, it's because when I've given you the information to go and source it and look at it, please don't keep badgering me about my cost.
Yeah.
Or where I got it from.
I can
I'm
understand
telling you
that.
where you can source it from. And he got a bit naughty, but another member said, you can see his point. He told you where to get it from. You're just being lazy. Go look and find it yourself.
Yeah, it's not like it takes a whole lot of work to find it,
No. If I put on the page RC Mart, is it hard to type in RC Mart on your computer? 6 letters. Yeah, and Google will send you in the right direction.
So guys,
It sounds to me like
I'm gonna remind you of time right now.
okay,
We're at an
but
hour
Chris,
and
it sounds to me like you met what they
37.
call you met a human. Yeah, humans, they are weird. All right, so
Shoot,
stick
yeah.
to these. These are not weird. All right, these are just flustering to a degree, but man,
Yeah, man.
no, I think we had a good call. I think if this one technically speaking goes off without a hitch, I think that we're good.
We've got more than one recording this time, so we can hopefully, if there isn't a mistake, hopefully we can rectify it. So last week, sorry guys, I'm not sure what happened. Audio did not record except for me, and nobody wanted to hear just me talking. So,
Aw.
Dwight, watch. Isn't that heartbreaking?
that is heartbreaking,
The
dude. I got the
signal there.
same thing. I tried to solder mine back, but same
Wait,
gig,
Signal
same
wire
gig.
I
broke
got
off
that.
my
I got
hook.
that ESC
That's
right here. What's wrong with that one now?
One of the
The signal
wires
wire
on
broke
the
off.
thing that goes to the receiver has broke off of solder. I tried to solder mine back, and it did not take.
guys, this was why I told you not to give up with repairing your ESCs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris,
Jeff,
it's close, man.
I tore
can
mine off, and I tried to solder
I,
it back, and it didn't work.
Yeah, like I said, we will make a phone call later after this.
Sure.
And you show me very close the circuit board of your ESC, and I can maybe tell you how you can fix it, okay?
Okay. Sure. That's what a lot of that's what this group is super good for, is people that help. I've got to get off here in a minute, and I've got to talk to my buddy. All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. He's having a hard time with his he's got an atomic V4 gyro that's going all jittery on him right out the gate, and he can't get it to quit. So I'm gonna have to get off here in a minute. I didn't
Yeah, it might be
respond to,
stuck in mad mode.
I didn't
Yeah, it is. It is. It's in mad mode. I
I didn't
guarantee
respond
it.
to a lot of people's messages yesterday because I had a lot going on. But
Jeff, what he has done is he was trying to set his EPA
And
and
he held the
hold
button too
down the
long.
button too long.
Yeah.
Because if you
gotcha.
set the EPA and hold the button down too long, it goes in mad mode,
So
and then it's done.
he's just got to redo it. He's just got to try to.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Factory
Yeah,
redo
reset.
it, and
that's what that's what I
uh,
figured. But he's starting to get
you
frustrated
see,
with it. He got the meta, and
uh, the LEDs
Man,
starts
it's funny.
flashing
Oh,
very
nice,
fast,
man.
and exactly in the moment where it stops flashing fast and starts flashing slow, you have to
yep.
leave it off.
Oh
If
yeah,
you wait the first blink and then
Yeah, I
leave it
like it.
off, you are already in mad mode.
yep, yep.
I've got some nice ones myself, man. I've got some. I was showing Kristen the other day. I've got some really good manga type art. The ladies.
My
I'm saying
favorite.
that I'm getting fed up with it though. It's like everyone's putting ladies on the cars. The other year, everyone was doing the Japanese flag. Yeah, the rising sun. Look, now that's a.
That's a
Yeah,
good
these
looking.
are the trends, like these are the trends I think for the monthly thing, like we'll do like a manga, we'll do the truck, we'll do the whatevers.
Mine's going to be just getting the thing running because I'm waiting on electronics. Here we
Oh,
go.
I know, yeah. That's
Electronics are killing me right now.
Electronics.
I've got a bunch of chassis, and the chassis were one thing, but now having to fill them full of electronics is another.
yeah, no, that's where
And
I'm
then when
at.
you've got them
Electronics and tuning.
malfunctioning and coming loose, that's another bad.
Yeah. Well, listen,
I have a box
I guess
of
that'll be that,
electronics.
huh?
Yeah, man, we're creeping up on. We are an hour and 40 minutes long right now. We went a little
Dang.
long winded today. That's all right.
Right,
All
well,
right.
Yeah, last time we didn't upload, so this time a little bit longer.
This will be the makeup for it.
Nice. All right. Well, listen, I hate long goodbyes, man.
All right, don't
so
go
do
away
I.
mad. Just go away.
Yeah. All right. So I'll see you guys on the page, and all members, like we said, reach out, ask questions, whatever. And
We're
yeah,
there.
and yeah.
All right, guys.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Say y'all.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah.
peace out from me, people.